right, that's it.
Hello, Secret to Success audience. Today, I bring to you a wonderful woman who has an amazing amount of information to give to you. I present to you all Miss Chala Dincoy. How are you doing this afternoon, Miss Chala?
I am so fine. Deanna, who has a difficult to spell name like Chala.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. When I saw your name, I was like, okay, let me see. And then I received the email, and I was like, oh, this is wonderful. I have a tutorial. Yes.
Deanna, you need to make one.
You know what? I think I may just do that. I may follow your lead and do that, Miss Chala. Seriously.
Make a video of how to pronounce it. I know. Listen, it's not as crazy as Chala Dincoy, but, you know, it might help.
You know what? It just might. And you know what? When I do it, I'll send it to you so I can tell you that I followed your lead.
Awesome. I'm going to put it on all my social media.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
Look at my friend Deanna.
Yay. That would be so exciting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Miss Chala, you have an amazing history. You have an amazing background. So if you can please let our audience know who Chala Dincoy is.
I am a messaging coach, and I started with the big corporate companies. Did you ever work for corporate, Deanna?
I did very briefly. And then I instantly went into entrepreneurship.
You see, that's smart. So I did it for 18 years. I worked for Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Frito Lay, Diageo, Playtex, but they were all big names, and I was always in brand marketing or sales. And then, when I started my company 8 years ago, I found out that companies are having a real hard time selling to corporations. And I know you guys do both, right? You sell to entrepreneurs and you sell to corporations.
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Yeah, so it's harder to sell to corporations because there is a guard up. The buyers are jaded. They've heard it all. They've seen it all. They have no time, and that's how I was. I spent most of my time in corporate saying no to people who were selling to me, and I, wasn't mean or anything. I'm Canadian. I mean, we're very nice. But it was just, there were so many reasons. So now I teach companies how to sell to corporations by changing their message. And the first thing, of course, is how to introduce yourself. That's called your elevator pitch. We changed that right off the bat.
Yeah, if you don't have that right, you might as well just put everything in the trash and keep on moving.
That's right. I mean, in fact, my elevator pitch is, did you know that 3 out of 4 business owners never get asked for a card or an appointment when they do an elevator pitch to their prospect? And what I do is I fix what people are saying so that every hello turns into a meeting.
I did not know that one.
That's my elevator pitch. Now, what's your elevator pitch, Deanna? You want me to fix it?
We make profitable clients more profitable.
Ooh, is that yours? That's not bad. I would put a little bit more pain around it and size the pain. So is it half of entrepreneurs never get to profitability, or that horrible statistic around 5 years is when they fail, or 90% of entrepreneurs fail within the first 90 days, or whatever it is. If you could put a size around the pain and then say, well, what we fix is whatever it is that you fix, so that they are, profitable year after year and sustain into retirement.
Okay. I like that.
You've just been polished.
I like that. Yes. Awesome. I'm definitely going to go to Antonio. Like, hey, Antonio, guess what?
I've just been polished. Well, I mean, I hate to give it away, but I have a podcast myself, and it's called Polish My Pitch. So people come in, like entrepreneurs, and they do their 30-second elevator pitch, and then I ask for their permission to polish it, just like I asked with yours. And then I just give them a few suggestions, and off they go.
That is awesome. You know what? We're definitely, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to put the link to Ms. Chala's podcast in the show notes. So make sure you click follow and follow the directions to become a guest on her podcast to get your elevator pitch polished.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Especially if you're selling to corporations, because those are the hard ones, you guys.
Definitely the hardest. So can you explain to us why it's harder for small businesses to get into the corporate offices, to get into those meetings?
Oh my gosh, there's one big reason, and I'll give you a number. 86% of buyers said they cannot tell the difference between two suppliers. Can you believe that?
Wow.
They think everybody's the same, and the only way they differentiate between suppliers is, can you guess how?
I actually have no clue.
Price. They can only tell by price if you're good or not.
Wow.
At least that's what they think. So that's why what the work that I do is to differentiate companies so that they stand out, first with their elevator pitch, then with their content, then with their positioning and messaging. I mean, that's why my company is called the Repositioning Expert. We add a whole new stream of income to an existing company by repositioning something about what they're doing in their messaging.
I never knew that aspect of it. That is, wow. So
let me give you an example.
Oh, please.
I know you were going to ask.
Please do.
Yeah,
No, please do.
Okay, so what we do is, let's say do you guys have wealth advisors in your schools?
Yes,
like financial advisors?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So a wealth advisor client was having difficulty getting people to talk to her about money, like when she was prospecting, because money is personal and money is a highly, it's a private thing. Like, people didn't want to talk to a stranger about their money, and she was trying to get new clients. So then when we did the research and I put her through my system, and then we super niched her, what I call super specialized her into, of all things, divorcing women. Because apparently, I don't know if you know divorcing women, but the number one worry they have is that their income and their lifestyle is going to decline after the divorce. And so she became the divorcingwoman.ca, and we found out that there's 21 meetup groups in Toronto alone for divorcing women. So her business went through the roof. Now people were running after her.
So Ms. Chala, break down for us, you said super niche. Break down for us the importance of that when it comes to getting in the door, when it comes to your marketing and doing your marketing strategy and campaign.
Okay. So let me give you a corporate example, because I promised to give you corporate examples. An IT company, I don't know, do you have IT companies in your sort of database? You probably do, right, in your students?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
oh, especially you said there are some parts of the market, right? So an
yes,
IT company, and they were an IT support company, they're a dime a dozen, right? They could not stand out. They would go to corporations and people would be like, oh, we already have someone, thank you very much, goodbye. And what we did is we did the research and put them through that process, and we super niched them into, of all things, just before COVID, to healthcare call centers where they reduced wait times. And then we rebranded we created a sub-brand called On Hold Rescue, because we rescued the poor people who were waiting and dying on the phone, trying to call a hospital on hold. So imagine, and the result of that is it generated $805, exactly, because I did the math. We did the math together. $805,000 with that just one extra niche within the next couple of months. And it wasn't even new clients. we just created a new super niche to cross-sell to existing clients. It was really brilliant, if I do say so myself.
That actually is. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are listening, super niche, you need to narrow down your target audience. It's extremely important.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I've got other examples too. Here. Let me tell you about a generic marketing strategy company, like just generic. We super niched that company into helping, you know, like the food manufacturers, the cookie lady, the soup guy, you know, they're just small food manufacturers. And do you know what their number one problem is, those little guys?
Getting distribution?
Yes, ma'am. You know your stuff. They can't get listed into grocery stores. Like, it's really hard to get into grocery stores. And then once they do, they have to pay sometimes to get listed. Well, guess what? If there's not enough pull-through, they get delisted. So it's goodbye dreams. So that's what we've super niched a generic marketing strategy company into. And this gentleman, he was like, at the time, he was 61 years old. He had lived a good full life in corporate America, and then he had, you know, started his own consulting company, and it wasn't going anywhere. So he went from 0 to 10 new inquiries and closed 7 of them in the first year after we re-niched him or super niched him. And this is the part I'm proud of, is he asked his girlfriend to marry him, and she said yes. And I take the credit because, well, I mean, listen, if you got so much confidence and so much success all in 1 year, you'd get married too, Deanna.
You know what? Definitely. Oh, wow.
You would. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's your story. Those are some of the stories.
That is awesome. So super niches are extremely important when it comes to increasing income, as well as just not just increasing income, but getting to that community that to tap into that audience. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are taking notes.
Yes, exactly. A super niche is really a combination of the target, as you said, like that community. Where am I going to go to find them? And then it's a combination of the problem.
Here's another secret to success: Rise.com. Rise is an all-in-one system that makes online training easy to create, enjoyable to take, and simple to manage. With Rise, anyone can easily create guides, courses, and other training content. You can start from scratch or customize hundreds of rebuilt lessons, helpful course templates, and gorgeous sample courses to build content even faster. Your learners will love Rise because Rise courses are beautiful, interactive, and engaging. Your managers will love Rise because Rise makes it fast and easy to create, distribute, and analyze online training. And your IT department will love Rise because it has everything your team needs to manage online training in one secure enterprise-class system. So why you'll love Rise? By starting a free 30-day trial at rise.com/success. Again, that's rise.com/success to start your 30-day free trial. RISE.com/success.
Problem that you solve. So a problem is like a diamond, believe it or not. And we super niche in one facet of the diamond. So, you know, helping food manufacturers get listed and stay listed in grocery stores is just one little facet of the entire problem of that entire industry. But we super niche down into some very, very same as like the wealth advisor who super niched in maintaining the lifestyle after the divorce. Do you think divorcing women don't have other problems? Of course they do. But like this company super niched in that aspect, if that makes any sense at all.
Yes, it does. It really does. No, you tapped into areas that other people wouldn't think about, like when the story with the finance consultant. No one would think about doing a super niche too divorced women because nobody thinks about them. They're all about the big fish, the let's do this, let's do that, not realizing that it's the ones who desire it the most or the ones who fear it the most that will be the ones that will come to you and be like, hey, look, I need some help here. I don't know how to exactly do this, so can you help me?
I know, and what a shift.
It definitely is. It definitely is. One of the things that Antonio has taught us is about Netflix. You know, Netflix didn't start off with just the big movies. They started off with the people who the blockbusters and the Hollywood didn't think about, the ones who liked the niche movies or the ones who like the old black and white movies or the movies that never even hit, you know, they never even hit the movie theater. Those are the ones they focused on. And then as they grew, they grew their inventory and they grew out to other audiences, but they started off with that super niche. And when he said that, I was like, wait a minute, you're right. Because you wouldn't find the new movies on Netflix at first, you know. So thank you for breaking that down to us.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like, I don't know that you're old enough to remember this, but when Apple Computer first started, it was mostly for, like, graphic designers, right? It was, like, they were the community that it was really kind of launched to. And even today, if you're a designer or some form of artist and you're not on a Mac, like, it's surprising, right? Most of the time, anybody who's anything creative is on a Mac. And the reason for that is because they started super, super niched. And then, of course, everybody and their cousin, like me, I'm not an artist, but I have a Mac. So it then grew. But I don't know if you're old enough to remember that.
I am, and I do. I remember the first ones that actually had the big smooth back to it, but they were a little small and they had the color on top of. Yeah, I remember.
Oh, wow. Well, you do remember. What do you know? You just sound so young.
Yes, I do. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, Miss Chala, I'm gonna switch it up just a little bit. What originally started you in marketing?
You know, I mean, I come from an immigrant background, so you must be wondering, like, that crazy name, right? My Chala Dincoy, and my parents were immigrants from Turkey. They were educated, like my mom's a lawyer and my dad's an engineer, but they always, my dad forced us almost, to go into engineering because in their country, those are the people that always get a job. And I think in any developing country, if anybody's listening to this, they know that any of the sort of the softer skills, sciences are not as encouraged in those environments. So I was supposed to become an engineer. My sister went ahead and became an engineer because my dad's an engineer. And then, I rebelled because it just wasn't what I wanted. And luckily, thank God, I switched into marketing. And then I found myself, I was like, oh, thank God. And then when I was lucky enough to start my career with Pepsi, well, Pepsi is the school of marketing. I mean, that's where I learned this whole niching thing, because every year, whether I worked at Pepsi or Pizza Hut or Frito Lay, which is all Pepsi companies, we used to launch new products. Like every year, you have line extensions, you have new products, and I had to make sure that they didn't, on the same shelf, they all sold, and they didn't cannibalize each other. And the way to do that is through super niching. That's where I learned super niching, is through, working in marketing, first studying it, and then learning it at the School of Marketing, which is Pepsi. And then I came out into the, like you, entrepreneurial world, and then I was like, okay, how come nobody is researching any of this, and they're just throwing spaghetti at the wall, they're making gut decisions, they're either generalists or they're just they're either falling into a niche because they come from that, like, background, or they come from that industry, or they just luck into it, and nobody knows how to do the science of figuring out strategically where to target and what to niche in. So that's when I developed this, free research that I do with my clients. Like, of course, you have to pay me to work with me, but I'm going to actually be giving away all of the secrets of how to do all this for free. at my boot camp that we're probably going to talk about later, but it's the elevator pitch boot camp. And the secret is that the perfect elevator pitch is super niche, because it's really about just the hook. Your elevator pitch should be about just the hook. It's not really about what you do. I know, I hate to say it. It's probably very controversial to say, but it's not about everything you do. It's not about who you are. It's just the damn hook.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for saying that. It's a hook. I've learned that nobody really understands the importance of a hook. Well, Antonio, he tells us you can't just walk up to someone and say, "Hey, buy for me." No, you have to put them in first. It's like
that's right.
Someone.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. No, I was going to say the best hook is, and that this is the other secret, is pain. Because 70% of human beings purchase based on pain, and only 30% purchase based on improving something. So because we're biologically wired to detect in the environment any danger. And when somebody's all of a sudden in front of you and they open their mouth and within the first 30 seconds comes out your pain or something that could hurt you or something that's hurting people in your industry, you're like, oh, I better listen to this person.
Wow. You just said...
That's how it works.
You just said a lot, Miss Chala. You just said a lot. You said the best hook is pain. And if you listen to someone, you said within the first 30 seconds, they will tell you their pain. How many companies have you come across that has not paid attention to the pain of their audience, and therefore it caused their businesses to fail drastically?
Oh, too many to count, and it breaks my heart. The way that I super niched myself in the elevator pitches is, do you guys go to procurement conferences? I don't know if you guys are diversity certified, but NMSDC, like any of the diversity conferences, they're called procurement conferences. They're like giant matchmaking conferences between businesses and giant corporations. And it's literally a combination of one buyer, let's say from Staples or Walmart, big company, or, Ford, and then they're sitting with a table full of 10 vendors, and everybody has a minute to introduce themselves, go around one by one by one by one. You should see these women are like white knuckled. They're so nervous, right? They're sweating. And the way that they introduce themselves is just horrendous. And that's and then you get up after 20 minutes, go to another table, then go to another one, then go to another one. And you can imagine, you can hear about 100 elevator pitches in a day, right? So imagine the buyers, right? The buyers must be just like, I want to throw up, right?
I'm tired now.
Yeah, exactly. So then that's how do you do something really well that you witness somebody doing botching? Do you golf well, or do you sew well or cook well?
I would say I cook well. I haven't tried golfing yet. That's next on my list.
What's the thing that you make the best?
The thing, okay, it's going to sound really weird, but I take the huge macaroni shells and I stuff them with the taco meat, tomato, pico de gallo, put some cheese over it, and then I bake them.
You're making me hungry.
So instead of it being like a taco, it's like this huge pasta shell.
Oh my God!
You just eat it like that. You can put your, sour cream on top.
Oh my God! Now I'm hungry and I forgot what I was saying. But here's the point. What if you were to see someone, let's say you were watching someone do it, but so badly. They put the wrong sauce, they put it wrong, they put it in the wrong place. It looked terrible, and don't you just want to just help them, right?
I would be sitting there. I would try not to disrespect them by telling them what to do in their own kitchen, but I would be sitting there anxiously in my head, I'm screaming, don't do that.
Yeah. That is exactly how I felt. So that's how it was born. First, I started telling some women off the side, you know, have you tried this? Should you do that? And then, like, I thought they were in so much pain. There were so many people in so much pain around this that I went up to the organizers and I said, listen, can I just do a small training free just to help these women? Because they're missing out. They're losing opportunities. Mm-hmm. The buyer's tuning them out. It's not working. And they were like, okay. They gave me a chance, I have to admit. And then it became so overwhelmingly popular that last year, and I had like a record year last year, I didn't once pick up the phone, and I was invited to speak at 14 conferences in 12 months. Mm. I was on a plane constantly, and I'm in Canada. So, and I had my biggest year. So, and even this year, yesterday, I was in a virtual procurement conference. Have you been to a virtual conference yet?
I actually have. Antonio has done several of them here recently that I've been on the organization board for. So yes, ma'am.
Oh my God, it's so insane, isn't it? There's a different, and this is not, I'm not talking about breakout rooms and Zoom. This was on a whole conference platform. There were exhibitor rooms, there were breakout rooms, there were like break rooms, there were just networking. It was insane. But the whole thing is, what I realized is everything now happens with text and video. And that's it on the virtual. That's it. That's how you're, like, so you would go up to a buyer from Walmart and you would have to text them. Can you imagine? In a chat. That's how you're going to make an impression. So if your elevator pitch isn't on point, what's going to happen? You don't even have your, you know, your looks or your charm to influence them with. You have nothing except your message anymore in this new world. So that's how, it was like such an eye-opener. And the same thing happened with the networking. Everybody had 2 minutes, and then you'd be shut down. Like 10 minutes would evaporate, and then the room would close, and you'd be shot into another networking room with 5 new people. And then the next one, and then the next one. It was insane, Deanna.
Wow. So
yeah.
with that being,
that's a lot of
that being, that is. Oh, that's a lot of reading. Wait, my brain just did something. So Ms. Chala, how can someone in today's world where social distancing has taken control of everything, where we can't be face to face like we used to, how does someone take their elevator pitch and give it out there digitally? How would they do that properly?
Yeah, so the elevator pitch is really usually the tip of the iceberg, which tells me about whether this company has a strategic direction, right? It tells me who their target is, and if they know who their target is, or if they're a generalist. The other thing it tells me is if they know what they specialize in, or if they don't have a specialty, if they're using generic jargon. So then, you know, in this new market needs, you need to resist being a generalist, and it's even more important than ever that you become a specialist. And what I'd love to see is if you repivot, and some people are so sick of that word, but if you can repivot to packaging your wisdom to the first stages of what I call we're going to be going through, like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I think first we went through crisis management with businesses and went to survival, and now I think we're in recovery for businesses, and then it's going to be growth and vision. So if you can repackage whatever you do and reframe it from the pain standpoint into either survival or recovery, right now is what needs to happen.
You actually just said something that sparked. I've understood Maslow's hierarchy of needs from a personal aspect as far as a person's being, but you just put it into a different light for me. I never thought about it in the form of businesses. And
I don't own that. Lots of gurus, management gurus have talked about this, but I absolutely use the model with my own clients in repackaging their wisdom to the new market needs and repositioning. I mean, that's why the company is called the Repositioning Expert, is because some of my current clients, we've had to reposition what they're offering and how they're communicating it to the new market needs.
Got it. Okay. So, Ms. Chala, in repositioning, because you have some people that say, no, you shouldn't, quote unquote, rebrand. What is the proper way, because you are the repositioning expert, what is the proper way for a business if they see that what they're currently doing is not working, their current marketing is not sufficient enough? What is the proper way for them to reposition themselves without losing respect and influence in their market?
Well, if they're not getting a lot of clients, they don't have a big audience to begin with that's following them and that they're leading. So I don't see a huge downside of, repositioning. At times, the way we reposition is like the example that I gave with the IT company, which is we just create a sub-brand, and that's fine. Like, nobody needs to know, nobody needs to care. Other times, like with the wealth advisor, we change the whole name. Because there's, if there's just no equity in the name, who's going to be hurt by the change? But if there's it's been 20 years and 30 years and there's tons of clients and community around that, there would be some backlash. But here's the process that I go through with my clients that I'm going to be teaching step by step in the boot camp. The first is we do sort of like a blue sky of who we could help and what problem we could help them with. And I insist on them using either targeting industries or interest groups. Like the interest group was divorcing women. They gathered together by interest. Or yoga, they gather by interest. Or industry, IT, that's an industry. Healthcare, that's an industry. So if you're B2B versus B2C, you can do. So, for example, my target was diversity companies and procurement conferences, and that was my niche. My niche was elevator pitches to diversity companies who are trying to pitch to at these diversity conferences. So the second step, once we do that, then we score who, and there's a whole, proprietary methodology that I've developed so that numbers don't lie. Okay, so which is the winning combination of pain points and industry? And then the second stage is research. You go out and you talk to those people in the market, like the horse's mouth. You don't send them a survey. You don't hire a company. You go and talk to your networks who could potentially hire you, not current clients, because that's the past, but I want future prospects. And then you ask them to validate the scores that we came up with in the first half. And then after that, you bring back the data, and then I draw up your strategy, your message, and your plan. And then I help you implement the plan. And then it's all about all the messaging and all the content. Like I was listening to some of your podcasts, and it's all about giving out just free content, just serving. But in my case, the content I want to make sure is in line with this target and the pain point that is the new repositioned one. So, for example, the on-hold rescue people, all they write about is healthcare call centers and reducing wait times. All they speak about, all they video about. Make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. So I do want to just clarify for the audience, you do actually have to have a conversation with your audience and not just send them a survey or send them a quick message. You literally need to have a vocal conversation with your audience.
I'm loving where you're going with this. Do you teach in the program, Deanna?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
why you're saying it. I can see it. I have to do so much work around mindset with my clients, even the multi-million-dollar CEOs, believe it or not. Some of them, I have to do mindset work to get them to reach out because they haven't had to for years. they've been coasting on referrals, and they hire me because they want more business. It's not enough. So then, they need to be able to reach out. I don't care how. We have ways to reach out on social media. We have ways to reach out by phone and email, but the most effective one, as you know, is the phone.
Mhm. It is.
Right? So, yeah, I can see why you're saying that. I know.
Conversations create clients.
Yeah, they do. They really do. And in the new normal, what I'm now generating and my team are generating are conversations on and through LinkedIn. So it's just a few extra steps, but it's the same thing. It's human interaction.
Exactly. LinkedIn is, yes, that's, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not have one, I do recommend that you get a LinkedIn account. Ms. Chala, I can't even begin to tell you how many people we come across that don't have professional social media platforms, and they do everything through their personal. So everything is flowing through personal. They have the pictures of them out at the club, and they have the pictures of them in a suit. Then they have a picture of the kids. Then they have a picture in a meeting.
That's funny. Well, to be honest, I'm going to be honest with you. So I work at a men's prison. I volunteer and teach them a program called Be Your Own Boss, because it's not as easy for them. Right. So, and what the administration had told me at the correctional center was to turn off all of my social media for access to strangers, to make it all private. But it's not possible to do that because I'm a public figure, and my name is Chala Dincoy. It is very easy to find, right? And
right.
And on top of that, I have a fitness blog where I show pictures of my sort of fat reduction journey, because I'm 51, and I blog about my food. So I blog about, and so there's plenty of pictures of my six pack, my old six pack, that I've lost my six pack now, and I'm trying to go back. So it's like a combination of my personal brand and my business, plus there's the added, pressure of having to be anonymous, but I can't be. So I'm telling you, but to your point, you really do need to be on LinkedIn at least, because people it's two different worlds I'm finding.
Yes.
Between the other social media and LinkedIn, it really is.
Yes, it definitely is. It really is. It took me a second once I really started getting into it. I'm like, wait a minute, this atmosphere is different. This is something. This is a whole new.
Yeah.
A whole new. Definitely.
Exactly. I don't post my fitness stuff on LinkedIn, but what's great is I'm finding that LinkedIn is just so much opportunity. You just can't ignore it. There's so much money sitting there if you know how to get it, if you know how to mine it, if you know what to say, if you know how to reach out, and then how to nurture relationships. It is just relationships. And the thing that I love the most is there's a voice feature. If you are connected with the person, and if you connect with me, I'll show you, unless you already know. On your cell, you could just press a microphone and leave a voicemail, which I love because it's so personable. Nobody's doing it. Everybody's afraid to do it. So many people have told me, I've never gotten a voicemail before. It just speeds up the connection so much. I think LinkedIn really is the place for business. Yeah, and I'm not being paid by them or anything. There's no endorsement here.
So, Ms. Chala, let us know about your boot camp that you have coming up and how our audience can register for that boot camp.
So the registration is, you go to repositioner.com/bootcamp, and it is starting on July the 13th, and the topics that we're going to cover are finding your most profitable target on day one, and day two is picking your sweet spot specialty. Everything that I've talked about here, which is going to come as no surprise to you. The third is the elevator pitch formula, the actual formula where you get to try it and then you'll post it into the group. And this is all happening through my private B2B CEO Society Facebook group. So you need to, once you go to the link repositioner.com/bootcamp, you'll be able to get all the information to get on. And then the last day is using your pitch to land meetings. And then the bonus training on day 5 is pitching like a celebrity. So it's all going to happen. Yeah, it's all going to happen on the 13th. I'm really excited because, I don't know, have you done like live, Facebook Live training?
Yes, ma'am. We actually have. It's pretty awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. So I've just started using StreamYard, and what I'm doing is I'm having interviews, live interviews with B2B CEOs every day in the group. And, you know, awesome. I'm looking for more B2B CEOs who are in the boot camp, who have registered for the boot camp, who are interested in doing this. I hope this podcast gets to people in time, and thank you so much for your help in doing that. But, I can't wait to meet more B2B CEOs who are interested in connecting with more corporations, and then I'm interested in getting their messaging more polished and succinct and opening more doors and overcoming buyer resistance.
Awesome. So, Ms. Chala, before we end today's call, can you let our audience know what you believe the secret to your success is?
Oh, God, lots of coaching. Coaches. I would be nowhere, Deanna, without coaches. And I know you coach a lot of people, but I honestly, coaches accelerate you because you can try to knock around and figure it out on your own. But my God, the acceleration you can experience when somebody's already figured it out, done it, and is 10 steps ahead of you compared to trying to figure it out on your own, I can't even imagine. The only thing I had to overcome is because of my scarcity mentality with, the country that we come from and that immigrant childhood, I had to invest when I didn't have money. I had to invest in coaching before I had the money. And even in COVID now, I'm over-indexing on my investments versus what I'm used to making because of COVID, because I'm not traveling. I'm in Canada. So I'm so proud of how far I've come inside myself to be able to do that, because if it had been 8 years ago when I first started my business, you'd have to probably kill me to invest 3 to 1 of what I'm spending versus what I'm making in coaching to be able to grow the business, to invest in the business without seeing a steady stream of high level coming in immediately. But it's on faith. So that's what I've learned, and coaches have taught me that. So that's the biggest thing that you guys can do, anybody who's listening who wants to grow, is when you don't have it, you step off the ledge. Like Indiana Jones, is what my one coach said to me in faith. Indiana Jones said, when you step off the ledge and the wall will appear, and it did for him in that movie, which is too long ago, and I can't remember the scene, but that's what he talked about all the time. So you'll have to watch it on Netflix if it is. That's what you need to do. You need to invest before you have it. And I know it sounds crazy to people who are raised like me. My parents taught us, never use your credit cards, never borrow, never lend, never have a debt. But this is investing in yourself. And I had to overcome that conditioning. And thank God I did, because proof is in the pudding. Look it's COVID, But I'm still investing my brains out. I probably never invested this much before since I started my company. So it's awesome. Wow. Yeah. I hope that really inspires people, because that's how I grew.
And thank you. Out of all of the interviews, I've heard people say serving others, and they have said investing in self, but they didn't phrase it how you phrase it, coaching. And that was one of the things that I actually had to learn myself. So thank you, because if you don't know, go to someone who does know. Don't make it so hard on yourself.
It is, because then you lose momentum, and then when you're a solopreneur, momentum is everything. You lose your speed, you lose your steam, and then you lose success. And then some people, so many entrepreneurs just go back and get a job, Deanna, because they give up.
And I refuse, Miss Chala. I refuse. I will have a coach.
Sounds like you would.
Until my last day. I will have a coach on my deathbed. I just refuse, Miss Chala.
I know. I'm with you there. And I'm so glad, And I love like-minded people, because I get so much from them, and I learn so much from them, and I'm constantly surrounding myself with them, and hopefully I attract them.
Yes, ma'am. Wow. Thank you, Miss Chala. So can you please let our audience know how they can follow you, where they can find you?
Well, you can go to repositioner.com/society, because that is the Facebook group. So the Facebook group is called the B2B CEO Society, and that's why the extension, the URL is repositioner.com/society. Become a member, fill out the 3 questions, and I will see you there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Chala, for an amazing day today, ladies and gentlemen. So you'll be able to follow Ms. Chala, join her community, and also join her boot camp. All of the information will be available for you in the show notes. Ms. Chala, thank you so much today for an amazing conversation. I'm definitely looking forward to getting everyone to your boot camp, because you definitely offer an amazing amount of value, and it's needed. It is definitely needed. So thank you so much for your time today. It was greatly appreciated.
Thank you, and you are greatly appreciated. I'm going to cook some pasta or something. I don't know.
Yes,
you made me hungry.
Thank you,
Deanna.
So much, Ms. Chala.
I'm not sure if you already know this, but you're already absolutely perfect. You're already absolutely great, and you're already living in massive abundance. The most important things that you have is not what you have, it's not what you do, it's what you know. Because the people who do know what you need to know to lead the middle class, they're in the top 1%, and they control 96% of the world's income. 97% of this world is trading time for money, and that is not the way to become rich, it's not the way to become wealthy, and it is absolutely not the way to leave the middle class. There are 7.8 billion people in the world right now, and they all want to learn how to make money and how to leave the middle class. But the way to become a master at anything is to learn all the rules and then bend them to your favor. Right now in this world, there are 2,057 billionaires. Right now. So if you think becoming a billionaire is impossible, that's 2,057 people that have already proved that impossibility incorrect. And if you think that's crazy, there are 46.8 million millionaires in the world, worldwide right now. Now think about that. 46.8 million millionaires, and that number grows 1,730 millionaires every single day. Money is everywhere. You don't need to max out your credit cards. You don't need to borrow from granddad and grandma. Just look behind me. Look at all the wealth sitting behind me in this junkyard. It's insane how much money is everywhere, and you don't need to go out there and beg, borrow, and steal to get it. You just need to know the rules of making money and how to leave the middle class. Essentially, all you need to know is the algorithm of making money, the rules of making money. All you need to know is what to do and how to do it, and you can leave the middle class. Any industry, yoga, golf, underwater basket weaving, clipping fingernails, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is know how to do it, how to get it done, and then find somebody to teach you how to do it, how to get it done, and you will be able to leave the middle class. If you're not getting my point, it's real simple. Whatever you have up here, As long as you understand the rules of leaving the middle class, as long as you understand how to get money, you can take what's up here and get wealthy from what you already have. Right now, the very thing you know up here is already being searched 1,000 times a second on Google. Someone right now, actually 1,730 people right now are going to become a millionaire from the stuff that you have in your head. Why can't this be you? I mean, it's 1,730 people with your ideas that are no better than you, that are going to leave the middle class, become a millionaire. Why are you not next? So how do we do this? How do we take what you know and apply it to objective money-making secrets and then allow you to leave the middle class? How do we take you from where you are and let you escape to where you want to go? So how do we make all this money, or take all this knowledge from the Warren Buffetts, from the Elon Musk? How do we take everything that everyone before you has done, and how do we take all of that and then put it in your head so you can leave a legacy for your family? My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. 32 years ago, I lived in a trash can. That's right, from 6 to 14, I had no running water, no electricity, no anything, and somehow I'm in the top 1% today. Not because I had the right background, not because I had a silver spoon in my mouth, simply because being homeless made me learn how to make money. I retired when I was 29 years old. I'm more than likely younger than you. I'm one of the top 1% income earners in one of the richest countries in the world. What I learned how to do when I was 6 years old was learn how to generate enough money to eat some cookies so I wouldn't die to death from starvation. From there, I learned how to go from cookies to a meal. From a meal to clothes to shelter to everything else that supplied my necessary needs. When I was 6, I was forced to learn how to make money, and now that's what I'm going to do and help you do. I've seen amazing results. I have my own economy, I've homeschooled my own children, and I wrote a book that teaches you every single thing that I know about making money, every single thing that other people know about making money, and most importantly, all the stuff that we don't tell you. Because the truth is, and you know it like I know it, the most honest, the most hardworking, unselfish people on planet Earth live in the middle class. Yet, your honesty, your unselfishness, your devout religion-going self is not enough to get to the top 1%, and that's not fair. The second half of my life has been not about how much money I make, but how I will be remembered from all the money that I have made. And I've been trying to teach everybody how to get out the middle class. I'm the crazy guy famous on the internet for trying to create 100,000 millionaires. I've created 8 so far. I got a 9th one on the way, all the way from India. That's pretty cool. And what I want to tell you is something very simple. It's been hard. It's been absolutely hard to help people leave the middle class, not because of the people, because the system would rather keep you being someone else's money instead of you having your own economy and having the money come find and flow to you. It was frustrating because I knew that anybody can make money. And if you knew what I knew, you would change your life. Over the last few years, I've built a large following of over 500,000 people every month that pay me for me to give them advice. Well, that's been exciting for me. And the cool thing is I've created thousands of six-figure earners. I've created millionaires. I've created people who can live their dreams and hold on to their legacies. And now my eyes are on you to create you to what you need to be great. I have been teaching my principles and these principles to hundreds of thousands of people around the world, every country, all continents, and anyone who has taken them seriously, written them down, and applied them have a 100% success rate of leaving the middle class. I've taught these secrets to my following, my inner network, and I've watched them go from 4 figures to 5 figures, 5 figures to 6 figures, 7 figures, all the way to 8. Everything that I've ever learned from millionaire mentors, billionaire mentors, and everything I learned from being homeless, and everything that got me into the top 1%, I have placed inside of a book. To date, it is the longest book that I've ever written, the most best book that I've ever written, And that book is called The Richest Man in the Trash Can, and I'm offering it to you today for free. This book is going to show you how to become wealthy into the top 1% and leave the middle class. This book is going to give you a step-by-step plan if you're 30 years old, all the way to 70 years old, how to get into the top 1%. If you're a teenager, how to get to the top 1%. If you're a millennial, how to get to the top 1%. It's going to teach you how to make 6 figures immediately, teach you how to get to $1 million immediately, and all that good stuff. Plus, I'm going to give you the 36 objective laws of leaving the middle class. Plus, I'm going to give you every last one of my secrets that have made me rich. You have to understand that leaving the middle class is the most important fight that you're going to have in your life. And to be honest with you, and you can kind of relate to this, it almost takes $450,000 a year just to be broke in America. And that's just in America. If you don't leave the middle class, which is actually an illusion, then you are going to have a really hard time. Think about it for a second. Most of you are going to be watching this are going to be baby boomers, and you've been sold a bad check. They lied to you. Your retirement was not enough for you to live comfortable, and I'm going to give you this book for free so you can figure out how to triple your retirement and then quadruple your retirement, and then, as Grant Cardone would say, 10x your retirement so you can live the life that's worthy of you. I want you to remember that leaving the middle class is the most important battle that you could ever face in your entire life, especially for your family. So consider this video, this book, your friendly tap on the shoulder. I want to send you a free copy of this book because I believe that abundance is your birthright. I believe that abundance is freedom, and I believe that this book is right for you. In fact, I believe in that so much that I will send you the book for free. All you have to do is cover the cost of shipping. I'll eat the cost. I'll take the loss. And all you have to do is get the book and dominate your reality right now and apply the principles so you can be the best person for your life that is yours. Fill out the form sitting right there to the right. Go ahead, dominate your reality. I can't wait to send you my book. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to have you as someone that's been on the journey with me. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plan better. You can dominate.